Welcome to another tutorial video for AutoCAD, working around these pre-designed tutorials. As you can see in the YouTube link, if you'd like a copy of these documents, you can get them from my Google Documents page. And we're currently working on the second document, manipulation. So in this document, it just sort of talks about some of the ways that you can, manipulate objects. Not so much create them as change the way that they're situated in the drawing space. So the first command is move in terms of manipulation. Can't go much further than move. Can't go past it, I should say. So a little chessboard here sort of teaches some of the ways to use move. So M is the command that you need for move. And let's say I were to grab this pawn. I'd say AutoCAD is now asking select objects. What objects do I want to move? I want to move this pawn. Is that the only object I want to move? Yes. Hit spacebar again, and now AutoCAD is asking for a base point. Now I could click anywhere. I could click over here and I can try and approximately, if I turn some of these snaps off, I could try and approximately get the pawn in the position of the square. Maybe that's pretty good or whatever, but we can be a lot more precise. Not that a pawn can move that far anyway. Let's say I turn object snapping back on, and this time I say I want to move this knight, and I'm going to move it using a base point. So the base point I'm going to use, I suppose we got that in the next panel. Yeah, I'll show it here anyway. Base point we're going to use this bottom corner, and I can move it down there. So what about if I wanted to move this bishop and wanted to have it out at 45 degrees? Well, I could use the snap points and move it like that. I could also use the object snapping set to 45 the polar tracking set to 45 degrees. So that will track out at 45, and I can try and get it roughly where it needs to be. Yeah, there's just a few ways that you can use move. Obviously you don't have to be confined to the chessboard. I can move a pawn wherever I want it. I can move whatever object I want. I can move this thing wherever it wants to go. Yeah, it's a powerful command move because it doesn't it doesn't make an imprecise movement. I can also, I could grab just this box and move it from there. But what if I wanted to, say, move it onto the next panel and I wanted it to stay centered? Well, then I should probably grab it with reference to the other point in the panel. If I just grab it from down the bottom and move it into place, well, then I can try and get it roughly where it should go, but it's not going to be as accurate. Okay, so this panel just talks about base points. It's basically what I was saying before. We're picking a direct corner and another corner and making sure that the knight stays centered in that panel. Pretty straightforward so far. I'll just turn the hints layer off. Right. So in this panel, this is just, I suppose, describing the way that you've got to be careful when you select objects to move. So all of these other chess pieces, like the chess pieces in this board over here, I've turned them into objects so that you can just click anywhere on them and they'll be selected as one whole object. But obviously not everything you're going to move is going to behave like that. Sometimes you want to move a cluster of small objects, and this queen is an example of a piece which is made up of lots of small objects. So I can't just click and then say move, because I won't get all of the queen. I'll just sort of break her apart. I can't really use the green selection box because I suppose that worked then, but I might accidentally click the border of the chessboard, and then if I want to move it, it's not really going to do what I want. What I'm trying to get you to do in this panel is to remember that we've got the blue selection box, which I could grab a nice wild stab anywhere here, and I'm always going to get the right component. I just want to get the queen in this case. So then once I've got it selected, I could have said move first and then select objects, or I can select objects and then start move. So either way is fine. And then we'll move this queen down to get the king in a checkmate. And yeah, as I said, if you make a mistake in here, so if I tried to move a few of these incorrectly, you can undo that with Control Z. You can always undo a command, or is there any command you can't undo? I think you might not be able to undo one or two commands, but almost everything, especially basic operations like move and line and circle, you can always undo. Okay, in this panel we're talking about moving the rook, and we're moving it directly horizontally. So here we're saying we want polar tracking turned on. This little, remember the drawing tools in the previous panel, previous tutorial suite rather, we had the drawing tools, which are these ones down the bottom, and here we're just saying that we need polar tracking to be on for this panel to work. But it is on, and we can see that this the grid spacing on the chessboard is 5 units. So if I want to move this rook across without object snapping turned on, this time I'm just going to use polar tracking and show you how that works. I can click anywhere down the bottom, and you see this dashed green line that comes out. That's the I suppose the polar tracking toolbar making itself visible. So when we move to anywhere along this line, it doesn't have to be just at horizontal. It could be vertical or at 45 degrees or whatever. In this particular case, though, I want to move out horizontally, and I want to move out 20 units exactly. So rather than just get here roughly and have a click, that's not really a nice movement. I'm going to grab this piece and move it across exactly 20 units. Tell it with the keyboard how far you want to move it. When you hit enter, it will be directly in the middle of that square. A nice neat checkmate. Here I'm just talking about the medals that, I say medals, they're circles with words in them, these things here. So I've tried to encourage, I talk a lot about the value of speed in AutoCAD. I think it is of absolute paramount importance to be quick, and so as a kind of a means of measuring your own speed and an incentive to try a panel a few times and try and improve your speed, I've put in some times here. So ranging from gold, silver, copper, down to lead. If you can complete a panel in 35 seconds, you'll be doing pretty good in this particular case. The panels all have different times. So this command, this panel here is just talking about copy, and we need to fill out the ranks of these pieces using the copy command. So CO will start copy, and let's see how quick I can do this. We're trying to make sure I click the right spots in the corners as well. So I click there. I'm recycling commands by hitting spacebar twice after each use, so I'm ending that copy, starting a new copy, spacebar again, copy, copy, pick the right points. Whoops, made a mistake there. Did I get gold? Maybe, I don't know. So that's how you do that sort of thing quickly, and I'll slow it down so you can have another better look at what I was doing there. So CO for copy. Remember I said in the last panel that if you repeat a command, it's the same as move. So I select the object first, select a base point, select a second point, and it's copied to that point. I don't have to type CO again though. I can just hit spacebar with no command to start another copy. And spacebar will cancel, spacebar again. Am I finished with this one? Yes. Spacebar to cancel that one, spacebar to start a new copy. I want this horse. There's my base point. There's my second base point. I'm finished with that horse. I want to move the rook. And you keep going, and as I said, like, the more you use this, you'll get faster and faster at it. It really impresses your old sort of dinosaur boss at whatever company you might wind up at in future, who doesn't know how to use AutoCAD that well and struggles to draw a line. If you can produce a professional looking document in half a day, or however long, depending on the scope of the thing, and make quick changes and updates to it, that'll really turn some heads. And it's the sort of thing that I suppose can help you secure your job, can help you move up in a company, and even just at uni when you're producing assignments and that sort of thing. You might print your document and you've made an appendix or something for one of your assignments. You print the document, you find that there's a mistake in it. If you're not quick with AutoCAD, you'll probably just leave the mistake in there and say, oh, well, I won't lose that many marks. But if you are quick, if it doesn't take you long to change, you go in and quickly make the change, and then you've got a really professional looking job, earning you better marks and getting you through the course faster. And again, looking better on a resume. Okay, lastly here we've got erase. So you can erase with, you select an object that you want to erase and hit delete. You can select the object and hit E, or you can hit E and then select the object. It's all the same thing really, we're just getting rid of the bishop in that case. I think the bishop was about there. Right, so that's it for this panel. Yep, keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.